How's it going, lads and lasses? This video is mostly going to be a review for Hiya Toys' newest version of the Jungle Hunter Predator. So this is version 2, which we have over here on the left. But it's also going to double as a comparison for both versions. This is a video that I was planning to make pretty much since the version 2 model got announced. I was really curious to see if it actually was an improvement over the original version, because I'll be upfront about it. I don't really like the original version all that much. The promo images made it look so cool, and I was so excited, and then I got it in hand, and I almost thought it was a bootleg, because there's just so many things that are disappointing about it. It kind of sums up how I feel about the line. There are some in the Hiya Toys Predator line that are really cool, and I'm super happy that they made them. And then there are others that are just sort of meh and really disappointing. And the Jungle Hunter, the original one, was definitely the prime example of that for me. I'd say for the most part it's been a pretty good line, though. It's just every now and again I get one where I'm just disappointed with it, and especially with Jungle Hunter, that's the one you really want to get right off the bat, because he is the original. You know, he's basically the face of the franchise. So it was just weird to me that it was just so off the mark. But I'm going to bring these guys in closer so we can start off with just a comparison of the face sculpts, because that's where most of the difference is going to lie. So as you can see here, it's a totally different head. That's where they started with this new one, is they actually made a nice detailed looking head, and I'm going to bring that in a little bit closer just so you can see sort of the detail on that. You got the scar on the helmet there. You actually have little texturing on the eyes. It's got a better shape to it. That's a huge problem with the original release, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that one in closer. Is the shape of it is really weird. Like look at the forehead on it. It sticks out so far, and it's just asymmetrical. It's off in just so many places. The eyes are really small. It just doesn't have the right shape. It's not accurate to the film. The new one isn't 100% accurate, but it's still really good. It's a really good mold, and it looks so much better. So what else do we have that's different here? You'll notice that the version 2 is a lot bulkier. And the reason for that is because it's actually using the AVP Predator body. So it's a little bit thicker. It's not necessarily accurate to the movie, because those were so much bulkier than the other Predators. Really than any of the ones we've gotten in the movies so far. But it still works for Jungle Hunter here, because it's not as bulky without the chest plate. And the arms, I think the arms are a different mold from the AVP. It's mostly the body, and I think the thighs. So the arms are totally new for this figure. With the original Jungle Hunter release on the right there, it was all worked off of the City Hunter body, because that's what they first came out with. Was, you know, they did the Lost Tribe, at least quite a few of them, and they just kind of took stuff from I forget the name of the one who looks just like Jungle Hunter, but with a City Hunter skin tone. But they basically took the parts from that, and they didn't make any changes whatsoever. So that was something that really frustrated me with the first release. It was just a straight up retooling of what they already had. And for Jungle Hunter, you should go all out, because like I said, he is the face of the franchise. He is the original. And really that's who they should have started off with, but anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get into the articulation, so I'll put the original aside for now. You don't get a lot from the head, and that's mostly because of the hair. It has a lot more hair than what he does in the movie. That's my one complaint about the head. Though, it might be possible to actually swap the hair from this one with the hair from that, because I do like the hair on the first release better. It's more accurate to the movie. it's just kind of poorly glued on there. I can probably just rip it out and glue it back in. I'll look into that after this video. So you don't get a lot of range of motion out of the neck, and that's kind of disappointing. Plasma caster is on a ball joint there. It can do a full 360, but it can't go forward, so it can't, you know, sit down. You actually have double jointed elbows right there, which is pretty cool. You got a little shoulder swivel. And it kicks up pretty far. But the downside with them using the AVP body is that the arms can't go down very, like that's as far as they can go down. So the arms are pretty spread out. That's something that I think they should work on in the future, but get into that later. I believe it's still the same ball joint that all the hands use, so you could probably swap out the hands if you really wanted to. Wrist blades extend. One thing I'm really happy about is the wrist blades are so much higher quality. Like, look at how jacked up those ones are compared to the new ones. New ones look so much better. You get somewhat of an ab crunch nut. I think the original actually has a bit more of an ab crunch, but it's serviceable. You know, you can have him go about that far back, but he doesn't go very far forward. And the hip ball joint doesn't have a lot of range of motion at all there. You can almost do the splits, not quite though. Legs kick out pretty far. What I like about this is they do rotate a bit more than the City Hunter mold. And then you got double jointed knees there. I wish they would do some kind of... I wish the feet were just on a ball joint, because they're just kind of on a regular swivel. And as a result, if you wanted to do a pose like that, it's hard because the feet can't rotate. So it's hard to balance him. So that's another thing that they should probably think about working on. Accessories are pretty bare bones for this guy, no pun intended. He comes with a skull with the spinal column. And then you get two alternate hands, one for each hand. And then the last thing you get is the standard stand with the two H clips so it can connect to other stands. That's about all you get for accessories with this figure. So how much of an improvement is this on the original release? What I will say is I believe it's personally a drastic improvement on the original. The original for me was so just disappointing. Like I said, I thought it was a bootleg. I was tempted to send it back, but then I saw some videos and I saw that it looked exactly the same. So I've been disappointed with that. It's one of the most disappointing action figures I've ever gotten. This new one isn't perfect, but it improves on it so much. And it is, like, while it's not perfect, it's a good action figure. It's a good representation of the Jungle Hunter Yaotuo. It looks cool. It's got really nice paint apps on it. The skin tone actually matches so much better, whereas with the original release, it literally is just the Jungle Hunter body, not the City Hunter body. It's the same paint app and everything. They didn't even bother to paint it differently. The feet, you know, Jungle Hunter has these sort of sandals on, and City Hunter doesn't. City Hunter's barefoot. They didn't bother making new feet with sandals. On this new release, he does have the sandals. I think you can tell right there. I'll bring it in a little closer there. So as you can see, the feet on the new one does have the sandals actually molded on. The one thing, though, is the hands still aren't totally accurate. You know, he has these sort of... They're even less than fingerless gloves in the original Predator movie. These are still like the Jungle Hunter gloves. Oh, they're not really gloves, they're more like rings. So that's another place where they could improve. But overall, it is such a drastic difference from the original release. And I would say it is definitely worth picking this one up and then just tossing your original release, because it it puts the original one to shame. So I'm really happy with this new one. I hope they continue with this level of quality and keep improving on it, because they're really getting to a point where these figures are just awesome. You know, they've had a couple of bumps in the road, with the most major one being Jungle Hunter, and I think that is why they've done this re-release, is because the first one is so just that it needed an improvement, and I'm glad that we got that. So you know, you can find this guy. I got him on Big Bad Toy Store. You can probably get him on Entertainment Earth. I believe he's up on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't checked the listing since I got him. But I'll go ahead and link some places where you can pick him up in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.